Okay. All right, so we're actually going to start with the bow. So, come over this way. Okay, so our bow hold, we're going to actually start by, you're going to put your thumb in, like, kind of this, where that meets right there, that little ridge. You're going to put that in there, and your thumb is always going to be a little bit bent.
Okay.
So you can always remember that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you what the bow hold looks like. I'll describe it to you, and then I'll help you do it. So you're going to put your thumb in there, and then the rest of your fingers are going to kind of just wrap around.
Okay.
And if you just, like, drop your hand to your side, like what it normally would be, that's going to be kind of the position.
Okay.
It's the same position as, like, when you're playing piano. It's just, like, relaxed and, but then we'll modify it a little bit. So you'll start with that and wrap your fingers around. This, your first finger, so these are your 4 fingers. We don't count the thumb when we're playing in strings, so you can count this. Your first finger here is actually going to kind of touch this metal coil right here.
Okay.
A little bit, and it'll depend kind of on how big your hand is, but you'll see. And then your pinky over here is going to be just like chilling out. You can kind of think of it being close to the, or close to there. What's comfortable. And then the other 2 are going to kind of hang there. This one will probably touch the string a little bit, the bow hair a little bit there. And then, and you'll hold it so that it's comfortable there.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and hold the bow for you.
So I put my thumb here kind of bent.
Yep. And you can put the, like, kind of the tip of your thumb there.
Okay. So then pinky, first finger, and then these 2 just rest.
Yep. Does that feel good?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Then we are going to talk about how to hold the bass next. So when you are holding the bass, you're going to it needs to be in a position where you can give it a hug. So you're going to kind of rest, like, your hip here on the side of it.
Okay.
Instead of, I think when people think of the bass, they think it's, like, way out here somewhere. But it's going to kind of rest on the side. And then you can kind of just, like, drape your arms over it this way.
Okay.
So if that's comfortable for you.
So, like,
see.
this.
Yep. Yeah, looks good.
Okay.
Then when you go to put your arm up, and I'll go ahead and grab mine here so that you can see it. Okay. So when you go to put your left hand on, your thumb is always going to be behind. This is the neck of the bass. Your thumb is always going to be behind there, and then your fingers are going to be over the strings like this, and they're going to be curved the same way that we talked about your bow hold being curved like that. Okay. For today, we're not going to worry about playing notes. We're just going to be playing open string, but remember not to let your thumb, like, slide over here, because that's a bad habit to get into. Yep. Cool. Okay, so you can grab your bow again, and I will go ahead and set this down real quick. Go ahead and help you get your bow hold first. So go ahead, put your thumb. Yep, slide your thumb up a little bit. Remember, so like the tip.
Just the tip.
Yep.
This pinky, this 2.
Move these a little bit over this way.
Okay.
Yep. And then when you put the bow on the string, it's actually, you're going to tip it a little bit this way. So it's not completely perpendicular.
Okay.
But that will help you put a little bit more pressure on it as well.
Okay.
Okay. And then grab mine here. Okay. All right. And the neck of your bass too, it'll kind of lean at a little bit of an angle. So you might want to, like, move it a little bit, or you can step a little bit that way. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So it's leaning into you a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so that you can, it's close to you there. All right, so get your bow hold, and then go ahead and put it on the, that's going to be the highest string right there. And start kind of, like, if you think of the bow in thirds, start at, like, this third of the bow.
Like here.
Yeah, so not right up against the frog, but that way. And you're going to push, and it takes a lot more weight than you think it does.
Okay.
But you'll see. So go ahead and just try it. Yep, and you can go back and forth that way. Try to play a little bit closer. You're kind of, like, up close to the fingerboard here, which is this black piece.
Okay.
So move a little bit, not quite, like
here.
Yeah. So, like, I usually think of it as a little bit closer to the fingerboard than halfway.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it can be kind of difficult to see from where you're at.
Yeah.
But the bow, as you're doing it right now,
It's
is
going-
actually moving this way.
Okay,
So like
so-
when you're playing, it's going that way. So try to keep it consistent and at a good, yep. Keep going. Yep. Watch this hand. I know we're like focused on this,
Yeah.
but make sure that this hand is still, and you can just kind of like hold your fingers in right now. Yep. Doing good. Try putting a little bit more weight in it so that it catches. There you go. And then another thing to keep in mind is that your bow right now is like I think you were starting to see that a little bit. It's pointing down. So try to keep it at a good angle right here so that it's like kind of a 90-degree angle here.
So like.
No, not this way, but like your angle this way and this way.
Oh,
Does that
okay.
make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so that your bow isn't pointing downward. Put a little more weight into it. Good. Okay, now this is it's sounding really good so far. This time, when you get to the end of your bow, see if you can kind of lean into the next one.
Okay.
So that it's not quite so. Does that make sense? There you go. Yeah, that sounds a lot less choppy. This time, see if you can slow down your bow speed a little bit so that it lasts longer. And that's going to mean that you need to put a little bit more weight into the bow. Watch your tip. Keep it up so that it's not pointing downward.
That's my alarm.
Yeah, you're fine. You can get it. I don't know where it is. I'll hold this. Okay. Alright. Yep, yeah, it's sounding good. I would say keep putting the weight into it. Just watch your tip because that's going to really affect your quality if it's like going at an angle versus getting the string straight on. Yep. Try it one more time. Watch. No, you're doing okay. When your arm, try not to make it such like a sawing motion. Make sure that your arm is like loose and that when you're pulling outwards, not just like this way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
Careful that your tip's still a little bit downward. Watch that your thumb stays bent and not straight. Yeah, that'll cause some tension in your hand.
Feels weird.
Yep. Good. Okay, so this time I'm going to play some rhythms and then you repeat after me, okay? So... Yeah, that sounded really good. Did you hear how good the tone was on that one? Okay, let's try another one. Yeah, good. It's sounding really good, actually. Yeah, that was actually really good. Okay, so I am going to play a melody, and it is going to sound like this. And I want you to just play the drone. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So 1, 2, ready, and. Yeah. So let's talk about the quick notes in there. When you are playing those, you're going to have to make your bow speed increase a little bit in order to get that. But you don't have to use the whole bow. Yep. And I would say try to use, when you're doing that, try to use like the middle third of the bow. Yep. Yep. And you can use a little bit more because remember, yeah, try it. Yep, that sounds a lot better. Okay, let's try it one more time. 1, 2, ready, and. Yep. A couple things. Make sure that your wrist doesn't like go this way. Yep. Make sure that it stays rounded along with the rest of your hand.
Okay.
Yep. And then I know you're like focused on using the bow and everything, but just make sure that you watch your tip too. So let's keep those things in mind, and we'll do it one more time. 1, 2, ready.